Good evening. My name is Joe Burns and I'm here from Mount Blue TV. We have heard that you were invited to go to New York City, and that is a huge accomplishment for our town. We were hoping you could give us a report on your lovely trip.
Actually, I would love to. Let me tell you a little bit about the story. My great uncle died. He was actually a pretty important janitor at the Senate at one time in his life, so I went down to go see his funeral. There was a lot of important people there, a lot of other important janitors from the Senate. But also a lot of awkward things happened on that trip, but I already agreed to telling Mount Blue TV about my trip. So, you know what, I guess I will.
Well, you said it was awkward. This town is very awkward as well, so your story might fit right in.
Only for you, Joe, I'll tell you.
Oh, well, tell us about your most interesting night there in New York City.
Alright, well, that's kind of a funny story, I was invited to a funeral. That was actually why I was in New York City, so I was actually kind of excited to go down there, just go have some vacation time, hang out with some friends, I went to not a very nice motel. It was a little on the scummy side. There's a lot of, weird stuff, just a lot of creepy people outside. I thought a couple of adult films were being made next door, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I was just sitting there, watching some CNN, listening to some tunes. It's kind of weird to do at the same time, I know, and I just decided to pull out a phone book and look up a nightclub to go to, do some dancing, hang out with some women, make out.
Which club did you choose?
Club Posh, I think it was called. It sounded pretty fancy, so I just went with that.
Did you meet any girls there?
Actually, I was kind of hoping to meet some randomly. I didn't really set up any plans with any old friends. I wish I had, but I was just planning on hooking up with some random girls, making out with them.
That's the way I roll too. Keep going.
When I first got in there, it was a little weird just because there was a bunch of men on the dance floor, and there's actually not one single female in there.
We've all been there.
Yeah, except for the janitor. That was weird. So I just went to the bar to get a drink.
What did you choose for a drink?
Well, when I got in there, it was actually really funny because the only drinks I had were apple teenies and Sex on the Beach, really fruity drinks. And I'm more of a beer man, I like to drink a lot of beer because I'm a pretty manly guy, I'd say. I watch football on Sundays and stuff. And so I actually just got some champagne. I just thought, treat it like a wedding.
Good choice.
Yep. Actually, the funny thing is about their champagne, it actually tasted like cherry cola. It was really, I don't know, strange, but I like cherry cola, so I didn't really have that much of a problem with it.
That is kind of weird. Did you leave after that?
No, I was just sitting at the bar when actually a really, lovely looking lady came up to me and we started having some conversations. It was awesome. She asked me to dance.
Drink it up. Sober girls around me, they be acting like they drunk.
Bottles in the ice, like a blizzard. When we drink, we do it right.
Did you accept?
Well, at first I was a little skeptical, but when she said it in such, because I'm not really a dancer, but when she said it in such an exotic, low voice, it was just so nice sounding that I had to say
Well,
yes.
did you get her name?
Actually I did. Her name was Lola. It was kind of we danced for a while.
Six. I'm feeling so fly like a G6.
Dipping on six. I'ma make it fit. Girl, I keep it gangsta. Popping bottles at the crib. This is how we live. Every single night. Take that bottle to the head and let me see you fly. Hell yeah. Drink it up.
Actually, you could say we danced all night. She was actually so strong sometimes when she'd spin me around, she'd grab me, and I thought I almost broke my spine.
She must have come from Germany. I've heard the girls over there are really strong.
I know, I've heard the same thing, somewhere around Europe at least, though. her accent was a little like, it sounded pretty.
Anything happen later?
Actually, I was thinking about like making out with her, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to, you know, because I actually hadn't really made out with a girl yet at this time in my life. I still haven't.
How romantic. I've made out with like 5 girls.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm still, you know, I'm number zip. You know, actually, I'm not very good at girls. I start sweating and, you know, it's just not very nice when I talk to girls.
Sounds like quite the night.
It was actually pretty sweet. You know, I wasn't looking forward to the funeral the next day, but, you know, it was almost awesome.
So, did you guys do anything after that?
Actually, this is where the story kind of goes a little sour, you know. We drank some more champagne. It smelled like Febreze in there. There was a lot of romantic electric candles in the air around, you know. But she eventually just asked me to come over, and I didn't really know what to say.
Wow, a girl asked you to come over and you say no?
Well, you know, actually I kind of had to because I thought she was gonna have sex with me, and I just wasn't ready for that yet, you know. I wasn't ready for that in the time of my life. But this is where things got a little sketchy. She got a little upset when I said I didn't want to come over, and she actually grabbed my hand really hard, and I think she broke a couple fingers, and she said, "I'm going to make you a man," really furiously, and I was upset that she did that.
Acting like they drunk, acting like they drunk. With sober girls around me, they be acting like they drunk.
Bottles in the ice, like a blizzard.
What happened after that?
I actually decided, I told her, you know what, Lola, I'm going to head out. You know, maybe I'll see you around. I've really enjoyed dancing with you. I enjoyed having drinks with you all night. And I just walked away, and she walked after me and said, "No, you're coming over." And I said, "No, I'm not, actually." And she followed me, actually, all the way, almost my hotel.
Six. Now I'm feeling so fly, like a G6.
Sipping on
And finally I started to make a run for it, so I'd lose her. But actually, she was actually turned out to be a lot faster than I expected. She was wearing 4-inch heels, but you know what? She actually caught up to me, grabbed my shirt collar, ripped it, threw me in an alley, beat the shit out of me next to a dumpster, and I actually, when she left, she kind of just spit on me, and I just laid there crying next to the dumpster for a couple of minutes, and I just went to my hotel.
They drunk.
Bottles in the ice, like a blizzard. When we drink, we do it right. Getting slizzard, sipping scissor in my ride, like 3-6. Now I'm feeling so fly.
I'm sorry to say this, but she sounds kind of manly.
You know, when you say manly, I hope you don't mean she's a man. She obviously did have a couple manly characteristics, but there's no possible way she was a man because I grabbed her ass and I grinded on her all night, so no possible way. She was cool with it too. She didn't say anything, so.
Wow, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thank you for talking, Joe.
Oh, anytime.